Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. 68,004 is the target for the daily close. This coming from Nick Crypto Crusader here on Twitter. In my opinion, we have bottomed on this move, and now we wait for 70,000 to hit next. So he was retweeting his tweet from March the 19th. So this is from a couple of days ago. Looks like 62.4 was tapped, and we bounced significantly on Bitcoin. Guys, this is important to note because over the last several days, Bitcoin has been moving down. We did see that retracement go down about 17.5% to about 60,007. And now look at yesterday's candlestick. So this is the daily candlestick where we're looking to get above that price mark, 68,400. And so did Bitcoin make it? Well, not quite. We did get as high as 68.2. And if we go back to that just real quickly here, I think we did close in and around the $67,872 mark. So that was the close for Bitcoin yesterday, although we did get very, very close. Basically, what we're seeing now for the Bitcoin trend was bouncing off this level here, this level that we saw of support from back in late February. And then once again on March the 5th, we did wick down past that level before moving back up. We also saw it there, and Bitcoin now proving this level of support once again. So did reach a high of about 68,200 yesterday. You guys can see that healthy move now to the upside for Bitcoin, forming what was looking like an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Move to the upside, of course, stalled out in here. And now we're just going to kind of probably do some of this before that next move up. So guys, we're now seeing extreme greed kick in once again. We're now at 82, so up a little bit since yesterday after Bitcoin did have a very bullish day. Bitcoin is up 6.34% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum is up 9.87%, which I'm kind of surprised about. BNB coin is at 7.44%. Solana is up 10.22%. XRP is up 4.03%. And, the rest of the altcoin market was doing very, very well yesterday, considering the King Crypto is now in the green once again. The market cap is also creeping up slowly. That is up another 6.58% in the last 24 hours, but we're not seeing a lot of trading volume. That's down a little bit, 7.61%. Bitcoin dominant still holding 51, 52, give or take. Bitcoin's still the dominant leader of the market, and the rest of the altcoins pretty much just doing their own thing alongside Bitcoin at their own pace. So we've got XRP up here on the hourly, and we can see some bullish price movement for XRP. Commensurate with what Bitcoin has been doing over the last day or so, XRP is now trading at around 61.8, so just shy of 62 cents per coin. And I mean, that is okay, in my opinion. I mean, it's not as good as it could be doing, but it is better than if we were still mired in that SEC lawsuit. We are still holding the trend here. XRP still making higher lows, so that's an important thing to note. The Nike swoosh pattern still intact. The same thing that we saw back in here, right? And back in here before XRP just went parabolic. So that Nike swoosh pattern still looking very, very primed for another move to the upside. And so really what it's about at this point in time is maintaining these levels, allowing room for Bitcoin to breathe before we see, before we get into the halving first and foremost, but before we see new highs as well. So I think we could possibly trade sideways in this zone here for a little while, maybe even up till the halving. And then once the halving happens, that I think is when we're going to see more activity for the King cryptocurrency. The $10,000 plus Patreon portfolio is looking healthier than it was over the last few days. If you guys are interested in what my picks are for this bull run and see my cost average prices, because some of those coins have fared quite well, but there are still some that have still yet to take off. So you can find all that at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Also, real quickly, I wanted to thank all of you guys for helping me hit my target of 100,000 subscribers. And I want to keep reiterating this because I don't want people to think I forgot. I'm going to be giving away 2 Ledger Nanos at the beginning of April. We did hit our target. It was supposed to be met by March the 31st, and luckily we hit it very early. So if you are not subscribed yet, do please subscribe to the channel because I am going to be giving away 2 Ledger Nanos. And if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, you will be eligible to win one of 2 Ledger Nanos. I'm going to be giving more details out about that. Wow, April's coming up very soon, I guess in the next week or so. But moving along, we got some great Ripple partner news. M-Pesa signed a cross-border money transfer agreement with Ripple partner On Afrique to streamline remittance flows to Ethiopia. Another African partnership here, guys. Collaboration now enables M-Pesa to tap into and leverage On Afrique's extensive network, connecting 500 million mobile money wallets and 200 million bank accounts. So this coming from what was formerly MFS Africa. They did eventually rebrand to On Afrique. They've signed an international money transfer agreement with On Afrique, Africa's largest digital payment network, which is Ripple enabled. The partnership will help streamline remittance flows to Ethiopia. On Afrique currently operates in 40 African countries. So that is, how many countries are there in Africa? Wow, it looks as though currently there are 54 countries in Africa, according to the United Nations, and now 40 of them have been tapped by Ripple-enabled On Afrique. So if we were to take that as a percentage, what would that be? Roughly 74%. So 3/4 of Africa, guys, technically running on RippleNet. M-Pesa provides individuals with quick and easy financial services through a mobile phone. Users do not need a bank account, just a Safaricom SIM card. Through the agreement, individuals within Ethiopia are able to receive remittances from different parts of the world through M-Pesa. And these numbers just keep growing and growing in the sub-Saharan continent. World Bank did estimate that the remittance flows to these countries reached $54 billion in 2023. This represented an increase from the previous year's gain. This increase was driven by strong remittance growth in countries including Mozambique, Rwanda, and Ethiopia. And so M-Pesa argues that the increase is a move in the right direction, but more work does need to be done. Of course, Africa in many ways has been the continent that has been left behind, and especially for, the banking sector, for commerce. But, moving into this new digital frontier, I'm finding that more of these companies are taking note of Africa and their untapped resources, their untapped population as well, looking to bank the unbanked. This has been one of Ripple's missions too. And so now through M-Pesa and On Afrique, this partnership hitting up 75%, roughly 75% of Africa's population. They are now looking to streamline remittance flows into Ethiopia specifically. So some great news there. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. These partnerships are expanding worldwide, but guys, Ripple did have to start somewhere. Do you guys remember when they were pilot testing with Mexico? This is an older clip, but I thought I'd bring it to you because this is exactly what banks were thinking way back when. This is how good the technology was like 5-6 years ago. From Smoke here on Twitter, this is former Ripple employee Marcus Treacher discussing bank usage of XRP and how there's little barrier for adoption of XRP usage, and even mentions how the US-Mexico pilot participants asked Ripple to actually slow down the processing speeds. Listen to this.
To adopt XRP. We don't see a major challenge in adoption, to be honest. We've got a lot of deep dialogue running with regulators. The Bank of England ran a proof of concept using Ripple in the spring. And the bank is one of the most conservative, highly regarded institutions worldwide. So we haven't got issues with our regulatory support. Again, because the currency has been designed from the outset for transacting, it kind of puts us in a very strong position with the establishment. In terms of adoption, it's really about using the banks which were shown in the earlier slide to create the initial network. Once we scale, and the banks we're working with together would allow around a 90% coverage of the world's global networks. So by getting those banks into multi-corridor volume, which is our current phase, that makes it much easier for other banks to come online, makes it easier for banks to apply XRP. We're having some great dialogue with banks around the world about using XRP. We actually ran our first XRP liquidity pilot with a company called Qualex in the US in the third quarter this year, where we made payments from the US to Mexico. The dollars went in, translated to XRP. XRP delivered on the blockchain to Mexico, translated to Mexican pesos. And actually, the banks involved asked Ripple to slow down the middle part because we were delivering the payments too quickly for the banks to digest. So, we had a kind of speed problem in the other extreme, if you like. But we are actively using XRP in that mode.
Marcus Treacher here explaining that they actually had a speed problem in the other direction, not too slow, but too fast for payments. And again, this was from a few years ago, so this was before banks were really used to DLT technology. I thought it was just kind of an interesting piece of information to bring up, considering now the world is modernizing, and apparently Gary Gensler is being put on blast. This coming from Kyle here with regards to crypto regulatory clarity in the US specifically. This gentleman here mentions XRP as well in the Ripple lawsuit in this clip. Listen to this.
Hill, who is also the chair of the Subcommittee on Digital Assets, Financial Technology, and Inclusion, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank the chairman. I thank our panel for being with us today. We've heard directly from the SEC director-level officials over the course of the last few months, and we've certainly enjoyed having Chairman Gensler here to have his point of view on behalf of the Commission. So it's great to have your expertise, and we thank you for being with us. Not only has the SEC lost in the court of public opinion, even on a bipartisan base here on Capitol Hill, but the agency is now getting trampled by the federal courts as well, especially as it relates to digital assets. In July 2023, a New York judge determined that Ripple Labs did not violate federal securities law by selling its XRP token on public exchanges. In fact, in that case, they were referred to as being arbitrary and capricious. Last August, the court rejected the SEC's reasoning for blocking Grayscale's Bitcoin trust from converting to an exchange-traded fund. And just in the last few days, a Utah judge imposed sanctions on the SEC for, quote, bad faith conduct and, open quote, gross abuse of power, close quote, that the commission had demonstrated in a case against Dropbox. And this is important because we haven't talked about this in a long time in this committee.
Ouch. So gross abuse of power, putting Gensler on blast, as Kyle puts it here, and even mentions the Ripple SEC lawsuit. Now that bodes well for XRP. Not so much other cryptocurrencies. However, guys, this is the information we're getting now coming out from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, courtesy of Chad Steingraber here. So take a look at this. Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash will be getting futures under the CFTC starting April the 1st. So looks like we can start bypassing the SEC for everything else. And he gives the thumbs up here. I feel like, it's due. We've been due for a bit of a break here. Bitcoin Cash futures contract. We've got Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, NANO Ethereum futures contract, and NANO Bitcoin futures contract. Now, all put out by the CFTC. It's looking like they're taking up some jurisdiction here. Maybe, in fact, allowing for more products to be offered that aren't so tightly scrutinized by the SEC. And I don't know how the jurisdiction decisions work, but the SEC obviously wanted to be in control of cryptocurrencies, but it looks as though, they've proven themselves time and time again that they cannot handle it and that they're dropping the ball at every turn. So these are now new futures contracts through these particular cryptocurrencies that you can, that I guess you can purchase through your advisor or whatever company you use, all related to the crypto market and cryptocurrencies specifically. So again, this is a step in the right direction. We need more of this. To prove to the public that crypto is an emerging asset class that should be legitimized and that, doesn't need the kind of scrutiny that the SEC has been giving it over the last 2-3 years or so. So I wanted to thank Chad Steingraber for mentioning that. I think, though, with this new official announcement from Blackrock, the sentiment about cryptocurrencies from traditional finance will shift very quickly. This one courtesy of Wendy O. Coinbase and BlackRock make a beautiful couple in the true decentralized economy that once was. She retweeted out Coinbase's tweet here from the official Coinbase account. We are excited to announce that Coinbase has been chosen as a key infrastructure provider for BlackRock and Securitize tokenized investment fund. So that was just announced yesterday, late yesterday evening, 8 p.m., March the 20th, guys, just yesterday. And so here's the scoop. BlackRock creates fund with Securitize, a big player in real-world asset tokenization. BlackRock's CEO Larry Fink said in an interview earlier that the company's filing for spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs were stepping stones towards, and he has from the beginning, maybe not from the very beginning, but even from the last year or two, has been very positive, very bullish on tokenization specifically. A little skeptical about the spec crypto market, but when it comes to using cryptocurrency as a technology, definitely very bullish. Investment management giant BlackRock has created a fund called the BlackRock USDT Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, according to a document filed with the SEC. The fund, incorporated in the British Virgin Islands, will be launched in partnership with asset tokenization firm Securitize. Guys, remember that name because we're going to get back to that. The filing does not reveal what assets the fund will hold, but Securitize's presence potentially suggests the product has something to do with the tokenization of real-world assets, or RWA, industry jargon for representing ownership of a wide range of assets through a token on a blockchain. After BlackRock's filing came out, Ondo Finance's native token Ondo jumped as much as 20% and is up 12% over the past 24 hours, so just giving us some data there. Observers pointed out to blockchain data showing 100 million of Circle's USDC stablecoin on the Ethereum network was also moved to an address related to a securitized deployer, which could potentially be a seed investment into the fund, though that is also not certain. So a lot of speculation surrounding this brand new announcement. Guys, look at this. Securitize, they have been supported by Coinbase from the beginning, but they also have a very important connection to Ripple. So Securitize supported by Coinbase and Ripple with a $13 million funding round. This was all the way back from November of 2018. At that time, Securitize, a US-based firm that tokenizes assets and traditional securities, did receive $12.75 million from the likes of Coinbase and Ripple. So both of these companies have a vested interest in Securitize. We're noticing the announcement mentioning Coinbase specifically and Securitize, but Ripple, perhaps a silent partner here. Maybe we will see the tokenization happening on the XRP ledger. Still things that have yet to be determined, of course. The Series A funding round was led by San Francisco-based VC firm Blockchain Capital, Coinbase Ventures, Ripple, NXTP, and Global Brain Corporation has also invested in this. So an interesting observation here from back in November of 2018, Securitize and Coinbase also connected to Ripple. So by extension, and I mean, this isn't the only connection here, by extension, the Blackrock connection and Ripple, definitely an important one to make note of. Also from Chad Steingraber, this was from June of 2021. Securitize was jointly funded by Ripple, Morgan Stanley, NTT Data, and others. This was the Series B funding round. So in 2018, that was the Series A. And in 2021, Securitize raises $48 million in a Series B funding round. And Ripple was part of that. They were joined by new investors, including Ava Labs, IDC Ventures, Migration Capital, NTT Data, and Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Bank, which is also a Ripple partner, by the way. The round also included strong interest from existing investors wishing to increase their investment in Securitize, with Blockchain Ventures, Borderless Capital, Global Brain, Moro Capital, Rapio, Ripple, and Spice VC ultimately joining. So not only did Ripple invest in the Series A funding round, also 3 years later in the Series B funding round. Not to mention, guys, Robert Mitchnick, the one that created the XRP calculator along with Susan Athey, also mentioned this with regards to this latest statement. This one from Crypto Darren here. This is the latest progression of our digital assets strategy, said Robert Mitchnick's blockchain head of digital assets. So again, the statement came out yesterday, March the 20th, 2024. Another statement, actually. BlackRock today unveiled its first tokenized fund issued on the public blockchain, the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund. Bildle, or the fund. Bildle will provide qualified investors with the opportunity to earn US dollar yield by subscribing to the fund through Securitize markets. And guys, the quote from Robert Mitchnick, this is the latest progression of our digital asset strategy. We are focused on developing solutions in the digital asset space that help solve real problems for our clients, and we are excited to work with Securitize. So boom goes the dynamite. Another great statement here from a former Ripple employee, the one that helped create the XRP value calculator with Susan Athey. So this guy understands the value of tokenization. This guy understands the power of XRP. I mean, how could he not? He co-created a calculator to predict XRP's price model moving forward. This was back in 2018. Since then, of course, he did leave Ripple, and he is now working at Blackrock. But here, guys, a lot of interesting clues as to where we can see things go next. Tokenization remains a key focus on BlackRock's digital asset strategy. So because Larry Fink has been so bullish, you can only assume what they're thinking with regards to tokenization. Through the tokenization or the fund, the Bildle Fund, will offer investors important benefits by enabling the issuance and trading of ownership on a blockchain, expanding investor access to on-chain offerings, providing instantaneous and transparent settlement, and allowing for transfers across platforms. BNY Mellon, guys, which is also a Ripple partner, will enable interoperability for the fund between digital and traditional markets. So here we have it, guys, tokenization on the blockchain. Now, one of the world's biggest fund managers, BlackRock, is getting into the game, partnering up with Coinbase and Ripple partner Securitize. And just to hit it home, guys, Larry Fink on tokenization, this courtesy of Radar Hits. Listen to this.
And we believe it's so important to be anticipating the next move. I would also say on the beginnings of a ETF Bitcoin, we believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities about bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we could customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own share.
BlackRock had been talking up a big tokenization game from the very start, guys, and now finally we're seeing it come to fruition. Are they going to be tokenizing on the XRP ledger? Well, that is still yet to be determined, but all signs are favorable. I think we need more XRP liquidity, though, in order to see this real-world utility kick in, and that is only going to happen as the market keeps pumping, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.